Hello and welcome to Mixing It Up. We have had a number of you calling, having troubles selecting your embellishments. So I thought I would spend a few minutes today going through what an embellishment file is and the proper way of using it in MemoryMixer. So let's get started. The first thing, MemoryMixer uses two different kinds of files, a JPEG image and a PNG image. Now, a JPEG is always square, rectangular in shape, such as our backgrounds that we use and your photos. The other type of file that we use is a very common file, is a PNG, and that allows an embellishment to have a shape. So when you add a drop shadow, it would have the drop shadow on the inside of this frame as well as on the outside, and not just a square rectangle. The same with like this little shamrock here. It allows you, the graphic, to have a shape, allowing the drop shadow to follow the shape versus just being a square. So that is the main two differences between the types of files that MemoryMixer uses, a JPEG and a PNG. Now, the difference that's really important is starting with version 4, we use what's called as a transparent pixel. In the previous versions, this embellishment would take up the whole space, would be a total rectangle. So you could actually select this frame by clicking in the middle. With version 4, we made a change. And it's a little tricky to get used to, but it is so fantastic. You will love it once you understand. So starting with version 4, you actually need to click on the embellishment part that you can see. So I can click here. If I were to click here, see how this background now is selected? That's because this is considered transparent and you can click through it, which makes it so handy and so nice. But it is a little tricky to get used to if you're used to MemoryMixer working as this embellishment took up this whole area. So let me show you some of the benefits of being able to use transparent pixels. So I've got my first layout here, and this is all content from Jumpstart. It's Jumpstart Your March, so I really think it's a cute kit, and I've enjoyed working with it. So I've got a layout here, and a couple of things that you might notice. This is a frame, so it's transparent, so I can actually drag and drop my photo. You can see how the photo box went yellow, meaning it's ready to absorb my photo. In the previous versions of MemoryMixer, you could not drop a photo through a frame, and so that was a little confusing for people. So this is a really nice feature. The next thing is if you had this shamrock here and you want it to sit on top of this frame versus underneath, before you'd have to move the frame back, now we can just simply click on it and bring it forward. And so that is another nice feature that you can just click through the frame and move it forward. Now, there are a couple of things that although they look transparent, you cannot click through them. And one of those items is a text box. So I've got an example here, a layout that I've created, and I love this kit. It is, it's actually a couple of different kits, but it's from Krista Celine, and the paper, or the background, is her wood grain paper pack, and then the embellishments are a spring day. So fun embellishments and papers to use. So I wanted to drag and drop my photo over, but you see there is no yellow box coming. And so that can be a little frustrating if you don't understand why. And the deal is, this text box right here, even though it's just little, I haven't tidied it up and tightened my text box, meaning you can see this whole area is not click through. It's not transparent. A text box, although it looks transparent, is not transparent. So a couple of ways to work around it depending on the situation you're facing. Sometimes I just select that text box and then I copy it and I delete this text box. And now I can drag over my picture and there it goes. Now all I'm going to do is paste and my text box is exactly where it was before. Or another way of doing it is to actually tidy up your text box and just drag in the sides to reduce the size of that text box. Now you could see this frame. I can click through because it is a typical PNG, and I could delete that picture, insert a new picture. I also now can access this embellishment, and maybe I really didn't like its placement there, but now it's easy to grab it and move it. So two different ways of handling a text box. One, reduce the size of the actual text frame or box that the text is sitting in. Or two, just copy, delete it, and then paste the text box when you're done. Now, if you do the second where you copy and paste your text back, make sure you don't copy something else before you paste your text box. Another thing you can do is you can simply move your text box over for a moment and then do whatever changes you need and then move your text box back. So there's a couple of workarounds for that, but the most important thing is just to know that happens, so when it does happen, it doesn't throw you. Okay, the next thing that I wanted to talk to you about, I have got a beginnings of a layout here, and this is from Tammy Miller's Romantic Blush. It's a beautiful kit, but I wanted to add a frame to this layout using one of the backgrounds. But then again, those are the only other thing that is not transparent pixels. The frame still is that whole area, so you cannot see through. Well, you can see through it, you just can't drop or select something through this. So here is a frame that I've made using additional background, but if you notice, I click and click and I am not selecting anything through here. So a couple of ways of working around that is I can just scoot it out of the way to start with and just position it, and then I position everything. Or I can just use my layer button and send it to the back. So now I still have it in the position that I've maybe wanting to use it, but now I can move my embellishments around my layout. So let me take you to my finished layout. I often like to just put a whole bunch of embellishments on a page and start mixing and matching and deleting and adding new. So I just want to illustrate. I can drag the picture over, but notice, once again, no yellow box. However, you can see out here in this little corner, there was, and I didn't let go in time, there was a place where the yellow box came on, and then I can let it go then, and it will absorb your picture. So you can look for those little secrets. The easiest thing is to change the layer, fill your photo, and then bring your photo frame back. So that all works good. Now you understand how embellishment works. This is where some of you may be finding a glitch. And it's not really a glitch in MemoryMixer. It's just understanding how MemoryMixer works. So some of you are bringing in embellishments that you have collected elsewhere, and that's okay. It doesn't work quite as easily as an embellishment that's made and installed right into MemoryMixer, but it does work. It just requires an additional step. And that is, some of you are opening your embellishments in the Browse window or using the camera button. That is great for photos or maybe even an additional background, but it thinks you're bringing in a JPEG, which is rectangular in shape, so it makes it really difficult for you to select an embellishment that's brought in through the camera or the Browse button. The way to properly bring in an embellishment so it's easier to work with is come to your embellishment window, add embellishment, and then if you'll notice right here in the bottom left-hand corner, it says Browse Other. This allows you to browse for some other embellishments you may have collected. The thing you need to remember is to change this to a PNG, so it's looking for a PNG, which is what an embellishment file is. Once you have it selected, just say OK, and now it will work like an embellishment in MemoryMixer. So just remember, you need to come to your Add Embellishments, browse Other, and then make sure you say you're looking for a file type PNG. That way, MemoryMixer knows you're using an embellishment, and you'll be able to select it once it's on your layout. I hope this has been helpful, and if you have other questions, please don't hesitate to drop us an email or give the office a call and let us know what you would like to see demonstrated on Mixin' It Up. Thanks for stopping by. Happy Mixin'!